What's going on YouTube? This is what Josh do, and this is an exciting video because this is a brand spanking new release by Dabbsson. Now, I have a Dabbsson behind me. It's the, I don't even remember the model number, but it's the one I did a video on with stacking battery. Pretty cool. This is the 2000L, L like Lima. Specifically, it is the 2000LB as in Bravo, US, like United States. Lithium ion. So this is just a box. And then here it just has the company logo. And then this side has the shipping label. If I can remove it, I was able to get that off nicely. Okay. On this side, we have some information. We're gonna have the SKU, which is again that 2000LB US. And then we're gonna have serial number here, the UPC for the product, some safety listings, and then down here you're gonna have the dimensions of the box. And now we're gonna get a knife and open this box and release its contents into the wild. Something's wrong with me. Somebody help me. I have several of these and I like them. All right, we have a goodies box. We'll set that to the side. I need a bigger table. Oh, that is a very thick piece of styrofoam there. All right, then we have the product. All right, box is empty. All right, and then we'll just show this bad boy off. So on this side, we have nothing but the Dabbsson and 2000L. On the top here, we've got some sort of logo and the words caution, warning, danger. You can do WhatsApp for support, or the Dabbsson app. You can scan these to get the Android or scan that to get the iPhone app. And then on this side, looks like we have ventilation. Oh, look, yeah, there's a fan, there's the blades, there's another fan, so there's at least two fans. We have a light, which is super nice to see. So you can use the, I've been through power outages. That's why these things are so great for me. I've been through power outages. And being able to have a light and see what you're doing and see what you're plugging in is so nice. Speaking of plugging in, we have buttons here. We've got two normal, boring USB-As, no frills, no thrills. We've got two power delivery ports. Looks like a 30 watt and 100 watt. Looks like we've got a 12 volt 4 amp connection. And this is a little interesting. So we've got three. So these look like they're 20 amps because it's got the little thing. It just kind of looks sad there. And then you've got your three normal ones. So if you just got the two little plugs and it doesn't have the prong. Then you've got your 12 volt, which is super awesome because I have a few different DC fridges. And I don't know about you, but I like keeping stuff cold. And during a power outage, man, having a DC fridge as a backup is fantastic. Or just straight up plug in your main fridge to this. Either way. All right, let's take a look at this side of the unit. Super boring. Nothing there. Nothing to look at all. And then on this side of things, we've got the input for solar, which looks like we're going to find out the specs down here. Then we have a charging port here. Ooh, we got two more fans. That's freaking fantastic. So the air literally goes like in one side and out the other. Or like in this side and out that side. I don't know which side's gonna go in, which side's gonna go out. But it's super awesome seeing that there's 4 fans at least. How many? This many fans. All right, and then taking a look down here, this is the specifications. So it looks like we have, what's the solar input? Oh, 60 volts, 20 amps. That's very nice. Almost all of my power stations are 10 amp max, and some of them are even less than that. So that is super nice to see a 20 amp max. So 800 watts of solar. Freaking fantastic. We're definitely going to have to try that out. And then it looks like the USB-C can do up to 30 watts. And the other one can do 100. Our USB-As are kind of boring, like I said. But yeah, this is a 2,000 watt hour unit. So this is one of my very few power stations that's more than 1,000 watt hours. And it's my smallest 2,000 watt hour unit. So that's exciting. All right, let's take a look at our goodies box here. So let's not forget to show the goodies. This is kind of, yeah, that's a thick cable. That is quite thick. Oh, I didn't even see the AC input. We'll just test that for real. You guys probably saw it, but I didn't see it. So we've got the car charger. So if you want to use this in your car, you can plug this into your cigarette lighter, and you can get like 100 to 110 or so, you know, something close to that in watts. So it's going to be a slow charge, but hey, it's going to be a charge nonetheless. And as long as you're drawing less than 100 watts or nothing at all, then you're going to be putting a charge into it. And even if you are drawing a load, it'll kind of even out what you're using. So let's take a look at the user manual. I'm just going to kind of glance through it and see if there's anything useful. So looks like we've got a warranty information here. I saw something along the lines of 5 years for the warranty. Yeah, and then here we have the user manual. So yeah, AC charging 1500 watts. That's actually kind of crazy for this small unit. That means it's going to charge it fast. And that's going to be a DC 5521 output port there. I'll let you take a look at that. And then this side's the solar and the AC. And then what all the things mean on the screen. This unit has Wi-Fi, so you can connect to it remotely from anywhere, as long as you have some sort of internet access. So yeah, it looks like you can do solar, car, or wall. So that's awesome. I'm going to keep mine at 1000 because 1500 watts is actually very fast. So sometimes you're going to get these units years later, or yours isn't going to come with the instruction manual. And being able to see how to operate it and what all its specifications are and stuff is absolutely massive. So I've even lost my user manuals and had to go and review my own video to see what the instructions were. But yeah, so you can do up to 3300 watts while keeping the output power within 2200 watts. So it's got P-boost. And then this is like its UPS function. So it's not a true UPS, but it can basically like power your TV. And if the power goes out, it'll switch over to the inverter or keep using the inverter and be able to power your electronics without interruption. So yeah, 15 milliseconds, which is not bad at all. And then you have the Android in Apple app, and basically it just tells you through the Bluetooth and how to connect it. But that's, you know, the app pretty much walks you through that. So long press the button until you hear beep and then type tip tap type next. And then you can do firmware updates, which is pretty awesome. It'll add new features and fix bugs and hopefully improve the device instead of, you know, the opposite. A bunch of warnings and things that you don't want to see. Fan blockage. And then what's in the box. And then storage and maintenance. All right, and then the language I do not speak. This unit is automatically interesting to me because of its shape, right? So this side has absolutely nothing at all. This side's where you plug it in, which we're gonna go ahead and do that with the included very thick cable. It says it is 14 AWG. There's the specifications of the cable. We're gonna connect it, but we're not gonna turn the power strip on just yet. Now, if you're going to connect this thing and charge at 1500 watts, do not use a power strip. Connect directly to an outlet because that power strip is going to get warm. All right, so what we're going to do now is flip the switch on this guy right here. And we're going to see what happens when we give it some power. And watch it start charging, hopefully. I heard it click and a beep. Okay. 0%, 0, 0, all zeros. And now I hear some fans kicking on. We're at 50% out of the box. And we're going to ramp up to 800, 700. Oh, I could feel that air. And now we're going to download the app, which I already have. All right, so let me start recording my... Okay, so I already have a unit on here, but what we're gonna do now is click the add button. I need to turn on my Bluetooth, and then hopefully it can auto find it. Otherwise, there's a way to do it all manually. Come on, make it easy on me. We're gonna do this manually then. We'll go to 2000L, press the button, so... Oh, it's this guy, right? Nope, that's the DC. Oh, it's also the IO. Okay, so we'll hold that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then next step, we are now going to connect it to our internet. Connect phone Wi-Fi to device's hotspot. So go to connect. Oh, it wants me to change the Wi-Fi. So, okay. We got the Dabbsson there. Internet, connect, always. Okay, so it's doing some stuffs and things. All right, I'll use that. Okay, so now we have the app, and it just says that it connected to my internet here. And from here, we can turn on and off settings such as the AC. Boom, AC is now on. And the little light lit up down there. We can go ahead and press it again to turn it off. Or we can just come over here and do it with the button press. And then the app should, yep, there we go. And then you can turn on DC, and you can turn on the LED. Oh my gosh, that is blinding. What the heck? And that wasn't even its brightest. That's its brightest. That's crazy. So yeah, it says we have 690 watts of AC, and it gives you the temperature. And it says the remaining time is going to be 1.6 hours. Very nice, very nice. So we just click on the little picture of the battery, and it brings that up. And then here you can click battery and see the battery health status. We're going to go into the settings and see what all is here. So we've got normal, fast, quiet, and you can set the charging speed all the way to 1500. So I'm going to keep it a modest 700. Energy management, so you can set charge limits where basically the device will protect the battery, whatever you want to set it to. So 30, 0 to 30 is what you can change the minimum. And then you can go 50 to 100. So then time management, you can schedule a startup at a specific time. You can have it repeat daily, weekly. And then the same thing with the shutdown, schedule shutdown. Choose when it shuts down, once, daily, weekly. Energy saving, so standby mode, AC timeout, set to 2 hours. You can do a minimum of 30, up to 24 or never. DC timeout, so it was default 2. You can go 30 minutes to 12 hours or never. And then screen timeout, so basically how long this screen stays on. And if you know me, you know that I like that screen to stay on as long as the unit's on. So you can go 10 seconds to 30 minutes or never. And if the unit's on, I want the screen to be on. And then you can go to firmware update. No updates available. I know my previous Dabbsson did have an update a couple months back. So that was cool. Device sharing, you can add some other people so they can create an account and log in and turn ports on and off and stuff like that. What is other? So we got beep. You can turn the beep on and off. You can change the home screen style. Yeah, and then you can do an SOS mode where the thing flashes. That is so bright. It's actually kind of crazy how bright that is. And if we back out, you can see my other unit, which is currently powered off. And this one is currently charging. This thing charges very fast. Let's see. Let's change it to fast charging. I am going to definitely flip a breaker here. So we just want to see the time. Let's change the charging. Let's go fast. So it automatically kicked it up to 1500. Oh, AC plus solar. So yeah, you can do both. And those fans definitely got louder. Oh yeah, we're cranking up there. We got 12. So what's the time remaining on that? So we're going to click the little battery in the middle there. And in less than 1 hour. Man, this is exciting having a 2000 watt hour unit. I have a bunch of 300 watt hour. I got a few 500 watt hour. I've got a couple 700 watt hour. I've got one that's 1100 watt hours. I've got a whole bunch that are under 1,000. So this is exciting. This is my first 2000 watt hour unit. I am just absolutely excited. And yeah, we're charging faster. I actually had to turn my computer off because it draws 300-400 watts. And it's on the same breaker, so I definitely would not recommend keeping it on fast charge all the time, but it's super cool because if you're in the middle of an emergency and you have no power at home and this thing is dead, you can go to a McDonald's or some place that has power, plug it in and get 1,330 watts of continuous charge and have this thing full in no time, and then go home and plug in the refrigerator or whatever it is that's out of power. Now, what if we need to charge something? So I have a dead, well, it's not completely dead, but it's quite low. And let's see what we can do with USB-C. So this is only 100 watts. So we're gonna plug that in and then plug in this little power station from a different company and then turn on the DC, and a bunch of little things up here lit up. And now you can see that we're currently outputting 100 watts. But the important thing to note is we still only have 1,300 watts coming in. I have a DC fridge I'm gonna plug in now. All right, since the DC is already on, my fridge just made a sound, so it's currently turning on. Now we are pushing 100 watts into this guy, and then the rest is going to the fridge, which is currently, compressor is currently on. And then we'll just connect up this other USB-C here and plug it into our Steam Deck. And yeah, I've definitely seen there's 32 watts. So now we've got 100 watts, 30 watts, probably about, I don't know, 50 watts or so? Yeah, 175 total. And the Steam Deck's currently powering on. All right, I'm gonna plug in this whole thing here and connect it up, turn the AC on. And we're gonna switch out that. And then we're gonna connect the phone, and it's currently charging, it says 55%. And yeah, we're pushing out 140 watts now. Phone's fast charging at almost 30 watts. And that did change. So now it says we're drawing 1,490. Ooh, there's 1,500. So we do have a time remaining down here. So 49 minutes until full, which if we click on the battery, and that says 0.8. And the app shows that we're, DC is 53 watts, AC is 160 watts. All right, I've got this old thing I bought in like 2012 because I was tired of buying air, compressed air cans. And I'll tell you what, I think I spent 50 bucks on this thing, and I have used it to clean out so many RC cars from playing out in the dirt, and so many computers, and just anything that needs a nice blow, It draws about 400 watts, but it definitely peaks it higher than that when you first turn it on. So we're going to connect that up, and I am going to make it very loud in here. Hopefully this microphone won't... I'm going to hold this far away from me, as far as I can, and turn it on. And, oh. Okay, so it tripped, and now it's running on the battery in here. My breaker tripped. Oh no, the breaker itself didn't trip. This unit did. All right, so we've got that plugged into something different. Fans definitely got louder. All right, so let's try this again. Now that we're not using something that, actually it might have been the watt reader. We'll see. We're gonna turn this on again. Okay, so it peaked at 1,800 there. All right, I saw 30. Oh yeah, it's going back to 1530 from the wall. You can't see the wall now, but you can see the app, and also you can see on here 1,500. So crazy, but yeah, it can do it. It can freaking charge at 1,500 watts and supply power to everything. So the output there. All right, so I'm gonna let this thing fully charge. All right, so I'm gonna just start turning some things off here and let this thing fully charge. And I just really don't like it charging at 1,500 watts. That is literally pushing my breaker to its limits. Well, my breakers, I live in an apartment. So let's go down to, and also the fans get really, it's loudest right now with 1,500 watts. I guess it's curious to see, we got a 700 watt limit. What if we turn on the AC and the DC? Will it increase the 700 watts? Okay, so 860 watts from the wall right now. And it reflects on here as well. So yeah, look, that's that difference. The 700 plus this. That's the difference there. Not exactly, but close. What if we do the... Oh yeah, 1170 from the wall right now. All right, so let this thing fully charge, and we'll be back. So what we're gonna do, disconnect the microwave from the wall. We need extension cable. All right, so hopefully this gauge wire is not too, oh, that's a monitor cord. All right, so I found an extension. So we're gonna basically push the button to turn the AC on. AC on, microwave turned on. We're gonna read the instructions. Remove tamper band, microwave and high with lid open for 4 minutes. Okay. 4, start. 200, ooh, 1700. Wow. She's going. So, 1700 watts. Just a quick little update. We got 35 seconds left. We're at 95%. And we're drawing 1600 watts. There you go. 1600 watts. And we're almost done. So during a power outage, I could still cook a microwave meal for 4 minutes. And, woo, she hot. She very hot. And you hear those fans? They're not obnoxious. They're not obnoxious at all. But yeah, 94%. Still got lots of battery left. So let it stand for 2 minutes to complete cooking. Okay. Well, that's freaking awesome. And those fans are calming down. All right, so it is the 19th of June. It is the next day. And all night long, it's been on AC since the video you just watched seconds ago. Not even seconds ago. And when I woke up this morning at 8 a.m., it was at 80%. So actually seems like pretty decent, you know, low, like no power draw. I mean, there's a tiny bit of power because it's definitely like powering the clock. And you know, this thing, which I opened the door and it said 23, but it said 0. So that's pretty good, pretty good. I would say, I mean, I don't do a whole lot of tests like these. So it's whatever time I finished filming the last part, and then 80% at 8 a.m. and now almost 7 p.m. 66%. So okay, you know, someone out there smarter than me could probably do that math. Okay, so now we switched over to the refrigerator. I don't know what model it is, but it is a, you can see, huh? Nothing, no power, no, not on. No lights, not on. We're going to change that. I'm not sure which model it is, but it's one that came with our apartment. So we're gonna press this button. Let me turn on that, press the button, and let there be light. Yeah. Wow, 654 for a second there. It definitely does not draw that continuously. I've seen it about 100 watts, 110 watts after everything is. Here the freezer is on now. And look at that. It's because the, did it really turn off that fast? Nope, it's on. Why doesn't that show? I have questions. All right, so we're gonna do this again, but this time we're gonna have a external watt reader here. So that says 600. Oh yeah, okay. That also says 600. Yeah, so right now we're looking at 6 watts. Not very much. What if I open the door and the light turns on? Okay, it's 9, because the light's on now. Pretty cool, but yeah, whenever it needs to turn like the compressor on to like keep stuff cold, I've seen about 110 watts, so it should run for a long time. We're just gonna leave it, see what happens. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this says 87, that says 95. So now the compressor and stuff is on to get stuff cold. And this is what it's gonna draw, and then it's gonna go to 0, and then it's gonna go to this, and then it's gonna go to 0, and then it's gonna go to this, and then it's gonna go to 0. And it's gonna last for a very long time with 2,000 watt hours. Well, I mean, this battery's at 65%, so it's like more, you know, a little more than half left, so. At 9 p.m. last night, I charged this thing to 100%. And here it is, 11:40 a.m. the next day, and we're at 61%. But we're gonna keep going and see. And then I've got this remotely connected, so if this does get super low, I can switch over and turn the power on remotely from work or anywhere in case this thing gets super low and I need my fridge to keep going. All right, it's 1:53 in the morning, and this is at 12%, and it's not consuming any power at the moment, but the fridge is still on. So it's been more than 24 hours, but it's definitely not going to last 2 days. And now I'm going to turn power back on so that I can resume charging here in just a moment. And there we go. Just like that. All right, so before we wrap this video up, I want to test the function of the UPS. I've got it connected to the ports on this 2000L here, and on the app, which you can see on the screen as well, I'm drawing 408 watts, inputting 442. We're at 100%. So what if I disconnect the power? So the game's running off of the PlayStation right there, and there's the plug. So I'm going to unplug this and see if, very nice, very nice. As you can see, no more input, and we're just outputting. Game is still running, no problems. So we're gonna go ahead and plug that back in. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, very nice. No interruption at all. Heard a little click in here, and the fans just kicked on, and now it's showing power being put in. So the UPS function works great with this giant TV and the PlayStation 5 Pro. And just one more time, just to finish it up. 3, 2, 1, unplug. No interruption. We're not running off of the grid at the moment. We're currently running off of battery. As you can see, there's no input. All right, so far this has been a fantastic little unit. Zero freaking complaints. I live in an apartment, and currently every time I try to film, like right now, there's no sun. So it's just unfortunate. It's the way it is. But yeah, 1500 watts of AC, plus you can tell it to fast charge and do both at the same time to get the maximum power possible for input. I mean, this thing is, dude, it powers every single thing in my apartment that I need it to power. And with 2000 watt hours, this thing will go for quite a while off of that. So it says 3.7 hours with a 400 watt output. So if the power was out, I could be playing my video game, having my internet going, and there'd be no interruption at all because of the UPS function. This is freaking fantastic. My biggest complaint with it so far is not at the moment. The fans are nice and calm, but I've had those fans turn on even when, like my refrigerator, when I was running that test, wasn't drawing any power. It's just the fans in here can be quite loud, but the good news is they can always issue a firmware update in the future that addresses that and calms the fans down. So as you can see with my current setup, this is the update I have. When you finally decide to pull the trigger on this, or you're maybe about to pull the trigger on this, there might be future updates that make the fan not so loud. Currently, as it sits, the fan just comes on at times I don't think it should come on, and they're actually quite loud. So this unit does have some drawbacks as far as that. I've had much, much quieter units, and I will tell you that the fans aren't obnoxious. It's not high pitched. It's just, you heard them for a moment there when it kicked on with the AC. So I'll plug the AC back in and let you listen to them. It does take it a second also to recognize that there is AC and like switch over. Oh, there's the fans. This is my microphone that I've been using to talk. I'm gonna let you hear it with that. It definitely gets louder than this. Oh, there it goes. So they're loud, but it's not obnoxious. I've heard way worse. I've heard whiny, like high-pitched sounds that are like almost unbearable. This is not that. I mean, you can literally hear it for yourself. And then it now changed to remaining time to 0.1 because it's almost full. All right, well, that wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. I'll have a link to this in the description below. This was a review unit sent to me to check out. Man, that airflow is fantastic. I know the been talking about how loud the fans are, but it's like a wind tunnel because it's got fans on both sides, and it just, I mean, it's really good at directing airflow. But the problem is, every single time you feel and hear the fans, it's very cool air. Like, it's very cool. It's not hot. It's not even mildly warm. It's not even beginning to get warm. It's cold air on both sides. So I just feel like the fans could definitely use a tune and calm them down a little bit. Turn them on when they're needed. Keep them off when they're not. Please follow me on social media. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. This is What Would Josh Do, and I'm out.